No, but seriously, this marriage is going to make this relationship even stronger. Everyone has their eyes on how this marriage going to change both the families' fortunes. He said, making everyone laugh as they agreed with what he just said. Mrs. John looked at you, but more than that, we are happy that Ryan is going to be a part of the John family. It's a pleasure to have such a beautiful and ambitious daughter-in-law. You smiled shyly and looked to your side at your soon-to-be husband who was smiling softly. Ryan and Taeyong looked made for each other. Your mother said, and you could feel your cheeks getting red. Everyone was happy and talking. They were enjoying teasing you and Taeyong, who are soon getting married, but there was one more person who weren't liking anything at all. Jungkook's eyes were fixed on you. His heart ached with each smile you directed at his brother. Memories of the trip a few years ago flooded in his mind. Your laughter, the way you looked at the sunset, the brief moment you shared. He had fallen for you then, but you had returned to your country, slipping away from his grasp, only to reappear now as his brother's fiance. The thought made his blood boil. He couldn't stand seeing you with Taeyong, the one person who unknowingly took you away from him. Now we are just waiting for Jungkook to introduce someone too. You all looked at him. He slowly shifted his eyes away from you. Who knows, he will surprise us, right Jungkook? You all smiled while Jungkook looked at you, who was also smiling, having no idea that seeing you close to his brother was already making him insane. I have no plans yet, but it will definitely be a surprise for everyone, he said looking at you. Jungkook is very good at giving surprises, Taeyong said looking at his brother. While everyone smiled, you got up. I'll go get some drinks. Seems like we are in for a long night. Thank you so much, dear. Mrs. John said, smiling at you. Taeyong looked at you. Need any help? You smiled and shook your head. Thank you for asking, but I've got it. Don't worry. He nodded while you walked inside the house. Jungkook watched you leaving and he knew this is the best chance to talk to you. He could not let this opportunity to pass like that. He stood up and cleared his throat. Excuse me, I have to use the washroom. His mother glanced up at him. Oh, okay. Jungkook forced a slight smile and walked inside while Taeyong watched him leaving. His eyes were a bit suspicious. Jungkook stopped in front of the kitchen. His eyes fell on you, who was busy arranging the drinks on a tray when Jungkook walked in. His presence was unexpected and you glanced up, flashing a soft smile at him. You need anything, Jungkook? He was just looking at you. His eyes doesn't want to look any other thing except you. He moved closer while his eyes were dark and intense. Not really. I just came to see whether you need a helping hand. You smiled. That's so nice of you, but I think I can manage pretty well. His voice was calm, but still there was something you couldn't quite place. He came near you but still maintained a healthy distance. It's nice to have everyone together. It's been a while since we have all had a proper family dinner. You said, pouring wine in a few glasses. His eyes were not leaving your face. Yeah, it's nice, but I can't help but notice how close you and Taeyong have come. You laughed lightly, not sensing the tension in his words. Well, we are engaged, Jungkook. It's natural, don't you think? He took a step closer, making you feel a bit uneasy, not in a bad way, but still, it wasn't comfortable as well. Natural? Do you remember our trip a few years ago? You looked at him puzzled. Of course I do. It was a beautiful place and I never thought we'll meet like this again, but why are you asking that? Jungkook's jaw clenched. I remember it clearly. Every moment, every smile. You were so carefree, so happy. And maybe it's been only 2 years, you have changed a lot, doesn't look the same. You looked at him for a moment, he dug your deep emotions. You again looked down, filling the glasses. Time changes everything. No one remains the same, and I think I'm fine. Oh, really? You're okay with this marriage? You frowned and looked at him confused. What are you trying to say, Jungkook? He came closer to you, your face were inches away, and you could feel his breath hitting your skin. You know, letting him this close to you was not healthy. But as if his eyes hypnotized you, you didn't able to push him away. I'm talking about the fact that I fell in love with you during that trip, and it kills me to see you with him now. You were stunned, you couldn't believe what he just said. You had no idea he felt this way. Jungkook, before you say anything, he cut you off, stepping even closer, and his voice was a whisper. I can't stand seeing you with him. It should have been me. It was always supposed to be me. You backed away slightly, feeling the edge of the counter against your back. Jungkook, you are scaring me. This isn't like you. I know this isn't like me, but I can't help it, Ryan. You have no idea what happened to me when I see you with Taeyang. Stop it, Jungkook. Don't be ridiculous. You should know that I'm engaged to your brother and we are soon getting married. And are you really okay with this marriage? Because I'm not. And I want to know that, will you be able to marry Taeyang after knowing what I feel about you? Will you be able to love him knowing that I'm going to love you till my last breath? You were literally shocked as you were not ready for this revelation. It's true that 2 years ago you met Jungkook during a trip, and for that 1 week you really became close considering you were strangers. You had the best time of your life, and after that you couldn't stop thinking about him for months. But then your parents arranged your marriage with his older brother Taeyang. You got shocked when you saw Jungkook for the first time after that trip. You also felt a little upset when you got to know that he's Taeyang's brother. God listened to your prayers for meeting him again, but not like how you thought. It was too late for you to develop any feelings. You should stop being weird. You said picking up the tray and was about to leave when he stopped and grabbed your arm. He walked behind you while your heart beat insanely fast. Things won't be easy, Ryan, because I'm not going to stop loving you. I know you don't love Taeyang. You're just marrying him with the hope that things may work out. You turned towards him. Yes, I'm hoping the same thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong. We just spent a few days, and also we were just strangers. If that you call falling in love, then I'm with Taeyang for more than a month. Is it the same? Do you feel the same way with him? Before you say anything, a voice interrupted both of you. It was Taeyang, and you gulped. Is everything alright here? You got scared thinking he might have heard your and Jungkook's conversation. Jungkook's expression didn't change, as if he doesn't care if Taeyang listened to everything he said. Taeyang came near as he first glanced at Jungkook and then at you. It was taking you long, so I thought to check if you're okay. You forced a smile. I'm sorry, I was just bringing these outside. You walked away from there. Taeyang turned towards Jungkook, who also looked at him. You are not doing this right, Jungkook. Taeyang was serious. What are you talking about, Hyung? You know I always do the right thing. Taeyang's jaws clenched. You better not trouble Ryan. This is not a joke, so please be serious for once in your life. Jungkook took a step closer to him. That's what I'm also saying, Hyung. It's not a joke. Don't marry her because she's never going to be yours. I will never let that happen. And Jungkook left from there while Taeyang was speechless. His blood boiled after hearing that. Not this time, Jungkook. I'm not going to let you do whatever you want. You came back with the drinks where your parents and in-laws were sitting earlier. You were okay, but now your mind has become a mess. You couldn't shake off those thoughts and you couldn't believe what Jungkook said. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You placed the drinks on the table, trying to force a smile, but that wasn't coming out after what happened in the kitchen. Taeyong went inside to check on you, your mother said, and then they looked at Jungkook, who was coming here, and Taeyong after him. It was clearly visible that something has happened. All three of you were in a different mood now. Did you get lost in the house, Jungkook? It took you a long time. You got goosebumps when she called Jungkook's name. You refused to look at him, but Jungkook didn't. Taeyong came and looked at both of you. The night had become something else. Everything came out and now only your parents were unaware what's going on between their children. It was 2 years ago. We just met during a trip to Paris. We were only strangers. You said, looking at Taeyong, who was the most restless one among three of you from the time he got to know that his brother is after the girl he's going to marry soon. What happened yesterday and what I heard, I want to know from you, Ryan, that there's nothing like that, right? You don't feel anything, right? You gulped and looked down. You never thought your mind would be in such a mess. You were unaware of your feelings. Thought there's nothing, but Jungkook really shook your thoughts from inside. Taeyong's hands clenched when you didn't say anything. Do you feel the same about him? Have always been? You looked at him as your heart dropped. That's not true. I'm sorry, but I need time. I want to talk to Jungkook. Taeyong was trying to calm himself, but the jealousy inside him was unhealthy. He felt this way for the first time and he was hurt that you didn't deny to love Jungkook. In fact, you asked him for time even though he's your fiance now. You know that I'm always here for you, right? You looked at him as your eyes filled with the tears of guilt, but you didn't let them show. I know, and I swear there was nothing like that when I was engaged to you. But I don't want any problems in our life in the future. It's better to clear everything now than struggling in the future. Taeyong already understood the condition of your mind. He knew Jungkook's words last night might have shook you as well, and the fact you met him before Taeyong and still you have those memories preserved with you, it says a lot about your messed up mind. As you wish, and I hope you'll make the right choice. You couldn't meet his eyes, you were not ready to break his heart. I can't believe I have to come here like this and have to give you an explanation. Why are you doing this, Jungkook? Knowing that almost everyone knows that I and Taeyong are getting married, how can you even say those words even after knowing that? Because I'm being honest with myself, true to my feelings. I'm leaving no room for any regret in the future, and I won't stop here. You looked at him frustrated. No, Jungkook, you are just being careless. You don't care about others, what they feel and how your actions will affect others. You don't care about anything at all. He took a step closer to you. And what did you get after caring about others? You are choosing a life partner who is not even chosen by you. Will you be able to be happy this way? I can't believe how stubborn you are. Why don't you understand that what you are doing is wrong? We were never in a relationship to begin with, and I was in my senses when I accepted to marry Taeyong, so you need to stop, Jungkook. Then why are you afraid, Ryan? Why are you giving me an explanation when you love him? Let me just try, because I'm also doing this while being in my senses. There was an intense eye contact for a moment. Jungkook could see that you were nervous, afraid, and he was liking that because he knew you were not ready to marry Taeyong. You just buried your happiness for your family. You wanted to live like a free bird, wanted to do a world tour, wanted to live for yourself. Your bucket list, the things you wanted to enjoy. What happened to all that, Ryan? Why did you change your mind in a year? Your heart dropped, you forgot that he knew about your bucket list, thinking that you will never meet him. You have shared so many secrets with him that you might have never shared with anyone. He literally hit your soft spot. What actually happened after coming back, Ryan? How did you change so much? Why there's no more shine in your eyes? Are you really happy, Ryan? You wiped the tear that fell from your eyes. You were standing near the glass wall of your room. Jungkook's words echoed in your mind. Only he knew the raw side of you. He's the only one. You showed him the real you. Truth was, after returning home, you had found your family in financial turmoil. Your father's business was failing and your parents were drowning in debt. Marrying Taeyong, who came from a wealthy family, was a way to secure your family's future. It was a sacrifice you had made out of love and duty, but in doing so, you had lost a part of yourself, the part that dreamed of freedom and adventure. Tears welled up in your eyes as you grapple with the choices you have made. Longing for the dreams you had once cherished, but the weight of responsibility and the need to protect your family had led you to this path. You wonder if you could ever find a way to live your dreams again. Jungkook was sitting on the couch in a dimly lit room. There was a scarf in his hands that you left for him during that trip. He still can't forget the moments you both shared together, the visit to the famous log bridge, the way he just couldn't stop himself from admiring from the time he saw you. I'll make you remember all that, Ryan. This marriage is definitely going to happen, but I'm going to be the one you'll marry, because no one knows better than I got to know you. Taeyong stormed into Jungkook's room while his face red with anger. He slammed the door behind him, the noise echoing through the house. Jungkook looked up, his face calm but his eyes showing a hint of boldness. What the hell do you think you're doing, Jungkook? Taeyong's voice was low but full of barely controlled rage. Jungkook stood up facing his brother. I'm being honest with myself and I'm not going to hide how I feel anymore. Taeyong clenched his fist. Stop messing with her head. She's my fiance. How can you even think about doing this? You are tearing this family apart. Jungkook took a step forward, his eyes locked into Taeyong's. I don't care about the consequences. I'm in love with her and I won't step back. You are being reckless and selfish. Taeyong's voice rose. His anger was boiling over. Do you even understand what you are doing? This isn't just about you. This affects all of us. Jungkook's jaw tightened. His own anger was growing. What about her? What about what she wants? Have you ever thought that maybe she deserved to choose for herself? Taeyong's eyes flashed with rage. She chose me, Jungkook. She's going to marry me. Did she really choose you? Or did she feel like she had no other option? Jungkook's voice was cold and challenging. You know nothing about how she really feels. You are just assuming she'll go along with whatever's best for the family. Taeyong took a threatening step towards Jungkook. You have no idea what you are talking about. She loves me. We have built a life together, plans for the future. You're just deluding yourself. Jungkook didn't back down. We'll see about that. I'm not going to stop. She deserves to know how I feel and she deserves to make her own choice. Taeyong's face contoured with frustration. You're going to ruin everything. This obsession of yours is going to destroy us. Jungkook's eyes burned with determination. If being honest about my feelings is going to destroy us, then maybe we were never that strong to begin with.